You know that feeling when everything seems to be falling into place, and then suddenly the pieces start shifting again? That's exactly where we are right now with the Bears receiving corps. And what I'm about to share with you changes the entire conversation we've been having about our offensive weapons heading into Sunday. Welcome to Bears News Fan Report, your home for the latest updates, breaking news, and all the rumors surrounding our beloved Chicago Bears. I'm here to make sure you stay ahead of the curve because in this league, information is everything, and today we've got a situation developing that every single Bears fan needs to understand before kickoff against Cleveland. So if you're not subscribed yet, hit that button right now because you're not going to want to miss what's coming in the next few minutes. Trust me on this one. Let me paint you a picture first. Last Sunday in Green Bay, we saw something interesting happen. Rome Odunze was dealing with that heel issue, right? And who stepped up? Olamide Zakayas. Now, I know what a lot of you have been saying about Zakayas this season. The production hasn't been what we hoped for. He's been moved down the depth chart. Fourth receiver, limited targets. But here's the thing about this league that never changes. Depth matters. And when your number gets called, you better be ready to deliver. Against the Packers, Zakayas played 78% of the offensive snaps. 78%. He ran routes on 83% of our passing plays. That's not a small role. That's a significant workload. He caught 2 passes for 7 yards and found the end zone. That touchdown was crucial in keeping us competitive in a game that came down to the wire, 28-21. Now Wednesday rolls around, and this is where things get really interesting. Practice reports start coming in, and suddenly we're looking at a completely different scenario than what we expected. Stay with me here, because this is where it all connects. Both Zakayas and Rome Odunze were limited participants in Wednesday's practice. Limited. That word carries so much weight this time of year. For Odunze, we knew about the heel. We've been monitoring that since Sunday. But Zakayas? This is new information, and it's the kind of development that sends ripples through the entire receiver room. The report indicates that Olamide Zakayas is dealing with a hamstring injury. A hamstring. For a receiver, for any skill position player really, the hamstring is everything. It's your explosion off the line. It's your ability to create separation. It's your capacity to adjust to the football in the air. You can't play receiver in the National Football League without healthy hamstrings, period. So now we've got a situation where our number 4 receiver, who just played the majority of snaps because our number 3 receiver was compromised, is now dealing with his own injury concern. And Odunze, still limited, still working through that heel issue. This is the reality of December football. This is what separates teams that make playoff pushes from teams that fade down the stretch. Depth, health, adaptability. The Browns are coming to Soldier Field on Sunday, and suddenly our receiver situation is in complete flux. Let me break down what this actually means for our offense. DJ Moore, obviously he's our number 1, that's not changing. Keenan Allen, when healthy, is our number 2. Solid veteran presence. But that 3rd and 4th spot, that's where the chess match begins. If Odunze can't go or if he's limited, we needed Zakayas to step up again. But now Zakayas himself is questionable. So who fills that void? Do we see more Tyler Scott? Does DeAndre Carter get elevated in the rotation? Do we adjust our offensive scheme to rely more heavily on tight ends and running backs in the passing game? These are legitimate questions that Shane Waldron and the offensive coaching staff are working through right now. The timing of this couldn't be more critical. We're fighting for respect. We're fighting to prove that this team is heading in the right direction. Every game matters. Every snap matters. And the Browns' defense, while they've had their struggles this season, they're not going to make anything easy for us. They're going to test our depth. They're going to see if we can execute when things aren't perfect. That's what good defenses do. Here's what I'm watching closely as we move through the week. Thursday's practice report is going to be absolutely crucial. Did Zakayas upgrade to full participation? Did Odunze? Or did either of them regress? Friday's injury report will give us the clearest picture. But right now, as of Wednesday, we're looking at uncertainty. And in the NFL, uncertainty in your receiver room heading into a game is never ideal. But here's where I want to shift the perspective a little bit. Yes, this is a challenge. Yes, this tests our depth. But you know what? This is also an opportunity for someone else to step up and make a name for themselves, an opportunity for our coaching staff to show creativity and adaptability, an opportunity for our offense to prove that we're not one-dimensional, that we can win in multiple ways. I genuinely believe this team has more resilience than people give them credit for. We've seen flashes all season long. We've seen young players develop. We've seen veterans lead. And now we're going to see how this team responds when the depth chart gets tested. Zakayas has been a professional throughout his career. He's been in big games. He's played meaningful snaps. That touchdown against Green Bay showed that when the moment comes, he can deliver. Now the question is whether his body will allow him to be available on Sunday. Hamstring injuries are tricky. You can't rush them. You can't play through them if they're not ready, because you risk making them worse, and then you're out for multiple weeks instead of just one. The medical staff and training staff are going to evaluate him day by day, and ultimately, the decision will come down to whether he can perform at the level required without significant risk of aggravation. That's the calculation that happens behind the scenes every single week in this league. As for Odunze, the rookie has shown tremendous promise this season. That heel injury has been lingering, and you could see against Green Bay that it was affecting him enough to limit his availability. The fact that he was back at practice Wednesday, even in a limited capacity, is encouraging. It means he's progressing. It means there's a real chance he suits up Sunday. But limited is still limited, and we won't know the full extent until we get closer to game day. The Browns game represents a critical opportunity for us. They're 3-9. They're struggling. They've had quarterback issues all season long. This is a game we should win. This is a game where our talent, even with some injury concerns, should be enough to get the job done. But we can't take anything for granted. We have to execute. We have to be sharp. And our receivers, whoever is out there, have to make plays when their number is called. That's the bottom line. Cleveland's defense is going to try to take away DJ Moore. They're going to bracket him, double him, make someone else beat them. If Zakayas can't go, if Odunze is limited, that puts even more pressure on Keenan Allen and whoever else is in that rotation to step up and make contested catches, create separation, and move the chains. Our quarterback needs weapons he can trust. Our offense needs rhythm and consistency. And right now, with two receivers dealing with injuries coming out of Wednesday's practice, there are legitimate questions about how smooth that operation will be on Sunday. I want to be clear about something, though. I'm not panicking. I'm not hitting any alarm bells. This is the NFL. Injuries happen. Depth gets tested. What matters is how you respond. What matters is whether your next man up can execute the game plan. What matters is whether your coaching staff can put players in position to succeed regardless of who's available. I have confidence that this organization understands what's at stake. I have confidence that our medical team is doing everything possible to get these guys ready. And I have confidence that whoever steps on that field Sunday is going to give maximum effort to help us get a win. But make no mistake, this is a storyline worth monitoring closely. The health of our receiver corps directly impacts our offensive ceiling. It directly impacts how defenses game plan against us. And it directly impacts our ability to control games and put points on the board. So as we move through Thursday and Friday, pay attention to those practice reports. Pay attention to the participation levels. And pay attention to what the coaching staff says in their media availability, because sometimes what they don't say is just as important as what they do say. Sunday's game kicks off at Soldier Field, and regardless of who's available, we need to show up and support this team. We need that home field advantage to be real. We need the energy in that stadium to be electric. Because when you're dealing with injuries, when you're dealing with adversity, that crowd noise, that fan support, it matters. It lifts the team. It gives them that extra push. And against a Browns team that's reeling, that could be the difference between a comfortable win and a nail-biter we don't need. So here's where we stand. Olamide Zakayas, limited practice Wednesday, with a hamstring injury after playing 78% of snaps and scoring a touchdown against Green Bay. Rome Odunze, limited practice Wednesday, still dealing with that heel issue. Both critical pieces of our receiver rotation. Both question marks heading into Sunday. The next 48 hours of practice will tell us a lot about their availability and their readiness to contribute at full capacity. This is the kind of situation that defines seasons. This is where depth matters. This is where coaching matters. And this is where we find out what this team is really made of. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you think about this receiver situation? Are you confident in our depth if Zakayas or Odunze can't go? Who do you want to see get more opportunities? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I read every single one, and your perspective matters. This is a community, and we're all in this together, riding the highs and lows of Bears football. If you found this breakdown valuable, smash that like button. If you want to stay updated on every development with Zakayas, Odunze, and the entire Bears roster as we approach Sunday, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. We're going to be bringing you updates as soon as information drops, and you're not going to want to miss a single piece of news. Share this video with your fellow Bears fans because everyone needs to know what's happening with our receiver corps heading into this crucial game. Until next time, bear down, stay locked in, and let's get ready to support our team this Sunday at Soldier Field.